at the bottom of the hour, and here comes today's green list. And this one, I think, is going to get a great deal of attention. It is not the top 5 greatest NFL dynasties. Today's green list are the top 5 quarterbacks that will win their first Super Bowl next. And at number 5, I'm putting Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is as talented as any quarterback in the National Football League, with the exception of no one. And he is now, for the first time, going to be matched by exceptional coaching. I think it'll take a year or two for them to clear up their salary cap situation, but Herbert and Harbaugh is a deadly combination. They will eventually go to a Super Bowl. At number 4, I have to put Lamar Jackson. Frankly, I'm not sure exactly when he's going to win it if it wasn't this year. Everything seemed to be set up perfectly, but that team is too talented, he's too good, and the coaching is too good to leave him off a list like this. Lamar Jackson was the MVP this year and deserved it. The Ravens will be back in business next year. You have to give him a chance. At number 3, I'm putting Joe Burrow, who I know everyone else is going to think is number 1. If this was just about him, I would probably agree. But in Cincinnati, they've lost their offensive coordinator. I believe they're about to lose one of their most important offensive weapons in T. Higgins. And I'm a little worried about the things I'm hearing about his thumb. I don't know that Joe Burrow's health is going to be just 100% fine by the time we get there. But most importantly, those 3 all play in the AFC, which is why my top 2 choices are the top 2 choices, because you have a much better chance of winning the NFC. And so at number 2, I'm putting Brock Purdy. The 49ers are actually the betting favorite on ESPN Bet to win the Super Bowl next year. And there's no reason to think they can't. Brock Purdy's contract will still be ridiculously team-friendly. They shouldn't have to lose all their good players that quickly. The 49ers should be back, and I'll put Purdy at 2. But at number 1, this might surprise you. I'm a believer in Jordan Love, my friends. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers are on the come. Go back and look at the second season that Brett Favre was the primary starter in Green Bay. Go back and look at the second season that Aaron Rodgers was the primary starter in Green Bay. That's when they took off. Love is starting from a higher place. He sat, he watched, he learned. The second half of last season, he was as good as any quarterback in the sport. Frankly, they should have beaten San Francisco in the divisional round a few weeks ago. They dominated Dallas. They are the youngest good team in the NFL, so they are only going to get better and better, and they have him on a reasonable contract as well. So this is not to say Jordan Love is the next best quarterback in the NFL, but I think he's more than good enough, and I have a feeling about that team. The Green Bay Packers, I think, are a sneaky, excellent pick to be in the Super Bowl next year. I'm trying to read the faces. I'm looking over here. All right, who looks the angriest at me? Go ahead, Marcus. Have at me, because I know you're not going to agree.
I vehemently disagree. I get your thing about Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow is in the AFC. But where the hell is Jared Goff when you start talking about the NFC, G? The Detroit Lions, they are going to get better than they were last year. Jared Goff obviously has to sign an extension. Super young, Jameson Williams got going. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think they got the best right tackle in football in Penei Sewell. Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery coming back. And let's not talk about what Brad Holmes has done from a general manager standpoint. Everybody walked away from that game against the San Francisco 49ers saying Detroit handed it to them on a silver platter. They dominated that game in every single phase except coaching late in the game and losing their identity, only running the ball 7 times in the second half. I think the Detroit Lions will be the scariest team in the NFC next year, and I think it'll have a lot to do with how their season ended this year.
I'm with you, and I know Lewis loves them too. I will say, however, I was watching on Thanksgiving when Green Bay went in there and beat them up and down the field, and I think the Packers are every bit as much on an upward trajectory as the Lions are. I'm not knocking the Lions. I think they're excellent, but if you're asking me right this minute between Love and Goff, I take Love. Lewis, what do you think?
As far as the Packers are concerned, look, I get it, man. And, I think their young core that they have offensively is here to stay. It's here to stay. I thought it would kick in at the halfway point of the season, and it did. I didn't expect them to go ahead then and open up a can on Dallas the way they did. I didn't expect it to look like that. But more power to them, bro. More power to them. But look, I'm going to say it's Joe Burrow. And I'm going to say it's Joe Burrow, and it's the Cincinnati Bengals, and here's the reason why. Okay, the Chiefs told me a story about when they went to Baltimore this past year in the title game, and as soon as Patrick hit that touchdown pass, threw that touchdown pass to Travis, and Kyle Hamilton was right there, you could sense that for Baltimore, which they felt was the best team in the NFL, Kansas City felt that themselves. Baltimore was like, man, is he going to do it to us again? Like, it got in Baltimore's head, like, you just can't beat this guy. You can't beat this guy. Even if we have the better team, he's still going to find a way to torture us. Like, we're going to start doubting ourselves. The only team, the only quarterback that can do that to Kansas City, in my mind, is Joe. Mm-hmm. Joe can put that kind of doubt in their mind, that even if they have a superior team, this guy can do the same things that their guy can do. That's why I say it's Joe Burrow.
Remember, he called it Burrowhead Stadium, or some of the Bengals did. Yeah. And they went in there and they beat him in overtime. Go ahead, Field. How about you?
Yeah, I'll let the two compelling arguments from both Swagoo and Lewis on Joe Burrow. I will just throw out a couple of names that I didn't see mentioned in your top 5 list, Greeny. Specifically, Jalen Hurts, just a year ago, had one of the best seasons that we've seen from a quarterback in a long time. Was going to be the MVP until that late season shoulder injury. They started 10-1 this season. The wheels fell off in a tremendous fashion for Philadelphia, especially on defense down the stretch. But they have resources this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if Philadelphia dedicates basically every resource they have to repairing that defense. I think Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles could be right back in the mix as soon as next season. And talk about guys you believe in, it's hard for me to not believe in the leadership and the intangibles of Jalen Hurts when it matters most on Sunday.